So we're going to find the residue of sine z over z minus I squared at z equals I. The first thing is to decide what type of pole we have here. Well, the squared sign suggests that it should be a pole of order 2, and we just need to check that when z equals I, this is not 0, which is the case. So it's definitely a pole of order 2. We're going to choose to use the Laurent method, the Laurent series method. So when you use the Laurent series method, what I suggest, basically we're going to expand this function about z0, which in this case is I. To save writing, I would suggest introducing a symbol delta to mean z minus I, and then that saves a lot of writing. So basically we want a series in delta, and we want the coefficient of 1 over delta. The coefficient of 1 over delta is going to be the residue. So we've already got this as delta squared on the bottom. We need to rewrite z in terms of delta. So that means z is equal to delta plus I, and our function, let's just call this function f to save writing. F of z is going to be sine of delta plus I over delta squared. And sine of delta plus I is sine delta cos I plus cos delta sine I. So sine delta and cos sine delta we can now expand using the usual Maclaurin expansion. So sine delta we can write as delta minus delta cubed over 3 factorial, etc. We can actually stop here, and cos I is of course cos 1, and we could actually stop here because we've actually already found the coefficient of 1 over delta, but I'll just continue to sort of, for completeness, just to check we don't get anything from here, but sort of with experience you realize that you're not going to get anything from here, but just to check, cos delta is 1 minus delta squared over 2 factorial, and times sine I. Okay, we'll just leave it like that. We don't need to do anything with it. Plus dot dot dot. Okay. So what we need is the coefficient of 1 over delta. So you can look here, and the only place we get a coefficient of, we get 1 over delta when we expand everything is here. This is going to give us 1 over delta. This is nothing here is going to give us 1 over delta. So actually the coefficient of 1 over delta we see immediately is just cos 1. So the residue we're after is cos of 1.